Okan and I are from the same country, and we met in a European conference. We both were there to give a presentation, and his presentation was about using AI or machine learning in software testing, and it was a really fantastic talk. So I decided to invite him, and he is here. Now, stage is yours, Okan.
Thank you, Mesut. I will share my screen. I'm hoping that you are seeing my screen now, the presentation.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. Konnichiwa and hello, everyone. And thank you all for joining today, especially the Japan test community. I also want to say a big thank you to my good friend Mesut for organizing this talk. So I will talk about the maximizing test coverage with AI-powered test automation, specifically the automation of the test execution, because as Chase mentioned, there are a lot of areas that the AI is being applied to the different part of the quality engineering. I will specifically focus on the execution part of it. Very quick introduction about myself. So who is talking to you? My name is Okan, and I'm the founder and principal consultant at Padran Information Technologies. I have more than 20 years of experience in software quality. I have delivered numerous consultancy projects in Europe, Middle East, and Northern Africa. And then I found Padran Information Technologies in 2020. And now I have 60 teammates that we are delivering consultancy services to the largest banks and the telco operators in Turkey. I'm also official ISTQB trainer. And after work, I'm a musician. So I play clarinet. It says hobbies there, but I can say that it's more than hobby. So like I'm half engineer and half a musician, so to say. And on the screen, you see my handles, like LinkedIn and my email. After the talk, in case you are interested in some specific part of my talk or any other thing, you can contact me and I'll be happy to discuss further. What is our agenda? What I'm going to talk about? We will first dive into the challenges that we are facing, and then we will talk about how can we overcome these challenges, like what we can do. And then I will tell how can AI fill into these gaps and then help us overcoming these challenges. And after that, I will give my idea about what is my take on AI and tell you my overview about it. I will also, at the end, show you a recorded video so that this is not just a theoretical talk. It's not just a concept, but you also see how it's done. All the concepts that I will talk about here, we are already implementing this in our customers. So this is not just a conceptual information, or like it's just the cool stuff. We are already applying these techniques in our customers. There are banks and insurance companies. At the end, when I tell you my overview on AI, I will tell the details about the experiences. If we see the researches, studies, and statistics on test automation, in most of them, the common result is that it's very easy to fail. And most of us most of you is failing at the end. Maybe in the beginning, maybe after a year, maybe after a few years, you realize that for some reason or reasons, it doesn't work anymore. Either your process or strategy or tools, or can be many reasons when you see these researches that you end up either quitting test automation or trying to change it to some different framework or tool. This is very common result. It's sad but true. We need to accept it. And I mean, all the global researches shows this, but I also observe the same result because I talk to many customers globally, and I can see them. They are also showing the same results. If we look at the difficulties, let's just imagine a barrier, a wall. Let's call it test automation wall. We have like we can talk about why we fail in test automation in another session and longer session. We can dive into the reasons. This is not about it, but because we will go to the AI part, how we can overcome these challenges. Now let's talk about this test automation wall. It's difficult to create a test because it takes time and it takes right skills to have in your team. Sometimes it's difficult to find and maintain, and it's most of the time it's insufficient test coverage because most of the modern applications are used by customers that are using very different devices, operating systems, browsers. There are a lot of platforms and also the test cases that needs to be covered, important one. And the maintenance, as per my experience and also per the results of these studies, this is the most challenging one, is if you cannot maintain your test suites, automated test suites easily, I'm afraid and I'm sorry that you will fail eventually. There is no other way around. If I would like to repeat it again because I think it's very important. If the maintaining of your test scripts, automated test execution scripts, is not easy. Of course, easy is a relative concept, but you know what I mean. That you will fail eventually. You will have to either stop the process or change the things completely. The last barrier that it takes a lot of time to execute your scripts. Like you develop some suites and then it takes an enormous amount of time that it becomes not doable after some time. So we know that we have the wall in front of us to be able to succeed. We need to climb and jump over it. So we need to work smarter. We need to design our tests, automate our tests, and to be able to maintain our tests in a smarter way. To be able to overcome the test automation wall, we need the platform availability to be able to cover the more coverage. We need to incorporate the machine learning, computer vision, and natural language processing to be able to use the power of AI to overcome the barrier, which I will come now very briefly to show you how. We need to use shift left and shift right concepts, which is quickly shift left. We need to be able to enable testing process as early as possible. Sometimes when you just have your mock-up designs, you don't even have anything ready, but because of the go live pressure at the end, you need to start early. And shift right, you need to be able to include even non-technical people in the test automation process. This is shift right. And your system should be able to integrate into your DevOps processes, and it should be reusable as a summary. Let's come to the main thing. So how can we overcome the main test automation barriers, which is it's difficult to create, it's difficult to maintain. I did like majority of the customers are complaining from this. By blending artificial intelligence and test automation, we can use the natural language processing NLP to write our test automation scripts like natural languages. As if now I'm talking to you, you can just write anything. English is not my native language, but it doesn't matter. I can write in any language, and then it can be translated into the computer language by the NLP. And by using the neural networks and computer vision, we can identify the same objects in any platform like the human testers, like us, recognize. If, for example, when I explain you, like let's say you just joined to our team, you are our new team member in the team, and I'm transferring you the knowledge. I explain you how the process works, or you check the document. As a human tester, for you, there is no such a thing like in the screen, for example. You don't say that the button that has the HTML ID of this, or text box that has the XPath of this. When we, as a human, operate and understand, as we say that click on profile icon, the profile icon doesn't matter which technology it comes from, doesn't matter what is the ID that the developer set to it or didn't set to it. Most of the time we see that they don't do it. They may not do it. So we recognize the same object. So the AI, AI software recognize in the same way. As you can imagine, like just think about your favorite application in different platforms. For example, your favorite online shopping application that you do online shopping, both sometimes in web browser when you are on your computer, sometimes from your mobile. It's because the technology is different. If probably they are using the native applications in web, they are using different applications in native iOS. They are using different objects, and the Android they are using different objects. So, and each of them technologically is different. So the traditional test automation tools and frameworks, you need to implement these scripts separately, and you need to tell your tool exactly what is this object you need to define. But for us, for humans, it's the same thing. In mobile application for iOS or Android or web application, when we say profile icon, it's profile icon. When we say shopping cart, this is also shopping cart. This is also shopping cart. This is also shopping cart. We humans are not really interested in what is behind this technology, what is the idea of it, or what is other properties of it. We don't care when we operate. It's the same. AI software also doesn't care. You just say that this profile, we will show you in the example. It doesn't matter. It's either mobile, iOS application, Android application, web application, or a web mobile browser on a mobile device. Doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's the same process. The shopping process is the same case in all the environment. You don't need to write separate cases for the same scenarios. This is it's really changing the things from the traditional test automation products. And how these AI models are learning. As Chase said, it's learning through a lot of data, a lot of clean data to be able to recognize the objects like how we do. We are following the technology very closely for many years, like already 3-4 years. We weren't using, of course, when it just started because it was like a baby, yeah? And then it becomes better and better every day by its learning. So now, last year, we started to use, and we are already having successful cases about it. Just let's talk about an use case. I'm sure that most of you is facing similar cases. So just think of buying an item in an e-commerce application. Let's say that you are the responsible tester there. There is a native Android application. There is a native iOS application. It works in mobile web browser. And there is also web application. If you are supposed to automate the buying an item case, one of these cases, to be able to do that in the traditional test automation tools, you need to create different cases for the different platforms because it's different objects. As you have to define the properties of it and to describe what is this object, you have different cases, which means you need to create multiple tests for the same scenario. And that's not it. You also need to maintain. Remember the test automation barriers? And I underlined one of them, which was maintenance. So you create multiple tests for one scenario, and you have to maintain multiple tests for one scenario. If we incorporate AI to this case, we actually create only one test case that is written in the natural language as if it's explained to a human, and then we can run this tests on the multiple environments, the same case on the multiple environments. At the end, I will show you in the recording video. I will talk over the recorded video, so you will understand what I mean by that. By using the AI object recognition, as I told you, it works exactly how we operate, the human tester operate, by being independent from the technology it's created and how developers set the properties for the application objects, we can create our tests easily and platform independent. And not just it, you can also create the same script even from the designs, even the mock screens. Because I told you, for us as human testers, we don't care the technology behind it. We also understand from the mock designs of the application. So the same thing applies to AI software too. If you have just the mock designs, you don't have anything, you can create as if you have your working application, because it recognizes in the same way. The profile icon is the same in the mock and also the same in the working application. Even if you change how it looks and even if you change the technology, it doesn't matter. By leveraging artificial intelligence in test automation, this is the our experience that are using the AI in the test automation, especially test execution automation. The maintenance cost reduced 70%, and automation coverage increased 30%, and the development speed increased 3 times, as you create only one script for all your platforms. And also you can extend your test automation process to anybody in your team, as they can just type any sentence. They can also write the test automation scripts easily. So let's leave the concepts to one side, and now let me show you how it works. So let me turn off the pointer. So first, you can start the test design even with the mockup before your application exists. This is shift left, because AI recognized objects. So now you see this is the design, and here the demo recording is on the OpenText UFT1 test automation tool. These concepts are, of course, tool independent, but the OpenText is investing in this field for already so many years, and we are happily using this tool in our customers. So this is just a design, and from this design, the AI model can recognize that this is profile. As I showed you in the one slide, it can look different. It can be from different technology. It can be mobile, can be web, doesn't matter. For us, for human tester, this is profile icon. Same goes for AI. This is profile icon. So just from you can either use the recognition engine or you can just type. Doesn't matter, it's the same thing. So this was one way of creating the AI-based scripts, which was from the mock design. And let's say now your application is ready, you can, so one way is from mock application. Second way, you can just type in the natural language, Or third one, you can use the recording engine. You can just do what you are supposed to do manually, and then it can convert into the AI way of test case. And you can run this test because this is I told you, buying an online item for us is the same thing in the mobile application and web application and different mobile platform is the same thing we are doing. So that means that one test can run on the different platforms. Same test is now running in Chrome, French, and different browser in English and iOS, real device. We basically created only one test for different platforms, operating systems, and run it on them. Which means if we need to maintain this scenario, we will not need to go to different test cases to maintain. We'll just maintain our one scenario, one single scenario for the use our test case, and that will be it. So now with the video, you also see how things are made. Closing remarks. What is my take on the usage of AI in the executed test automation, test execution? So I see in the industry there are some people are completely against it, and there are some people completely pro, like in the fanatic level, like some people are hating it and from approaching from very negative part, and some people are already accepting 100% and defending it again fanatically. I think both is wrong, like both sides are wrong. You don't need to be fanatical. You need to have critical thinking, my friends. As I believe that the most precious characteristic of a quality engineer, test engineer, is to have critical thinking for everything, for the work that you are doing, and that should be your lifestyle, I think. So what about having this critical thinking for here too? So rather than rejecting it completely or taking it as a religion, what about trying to analyze and see if you can actually benefit from it or not? So my suggestion is to be approaching it with the analytical thinking and experiment yourself and see it yourself, because none of the sides are good at the moment. Things are evolving very fast, and so first suggestion is you must have critical thinking for everything else and also for this topic too. Second, be open and be have open-minded and try to see what's going on. First, not to be behind, because things are really going fast, like really fast. it's changing almost on daily basis. So have open mind and try to dig into it, play with it, and don't be fanatical for anything. Not for tools too. I also see as a last remark, I also see in the tool too, like there are some people are religiously fanatic for some tools. Like there are some Selenium guys and Playwright guys or the enterprise tool guys. Don't be one of them. It's the last remark. I'll be happy to answer the questions.
Thank you so much, Okan. Let me share my screen. You can just stop. We have a couple of questions. We are a little bit behind of our schedule, but talks are great, so I'm really enjoying them. I hope everyone is also doing that, just like me. Okay, so maybe we can pick one or two questions. And the first one is, how are you collecting your training data, like icons on the page? Do you manually save them from several websites?
So this is what I showed you is done by Open Text. It's their model, and yes, they are training their data from many different examples, many different icons and different objects, so that by time it can be like it can recognize any kind of profile icon, just say as an example. And also they have cool, like most of the time it recognizes the modern applications objects, but in case it doesn't recognize, then you can give feedback that they can also teach to their model your object. But yeah, you need to train your model.
Sounds like the analogy that you shared, right? It is like a baby, so learning in time.
Yeah.
Cool. The next question is there a white paper or any other resource where I can find more information about this tool?
Yes, there is. You can see their official help where I can put into the chat so that you can take it from there. There you will see the details of it and how it works, how it operates, and how it's trained, what kind of objects it can recognize. I will put two links to the chat for your
Please do, and
reference.
we can share after the event on our socials. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's okay because the other questions maybe we can pass to Nozomi if he has time at the very end. But now let's have a very short break, like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, because we have completed our first two fantastic talks. And I'm really looking forward for the last closing talk by Nozomi. But before that, let's refresh our tea, coffee, or whatever you are drinking. And yeah, let's meet again in 3 minutes.